Hello viewers, we at Diplomacy India have touched upon a variety of subjects in the series Envoy Speaks. Today we have ventured into a new era. We are here to throw some light on an important aspect of our lives, happiness. Happiness is not we have, it is in how we think. Happiness is not at the destination, it is on the journey. To talk more on this subject is none other than the envoy of the country who has been named the happiest country in the world for the fourth consecutive year by the United Nations Sustainable Development Solution Network. It is a pleasure to have Her Excellency Ms. Ritva Koukku-Ronde, Ambassador of Finland to India. Welcome, Excellency, to this program.
Thank you very much for this kind invitation. I'm a great honor and pleasure to be with you.
Finland was nominated as the happiest country in the world, yet again for the fourth time in 2021. What, according to you, have been the factors that contributed to it?
Yeah, we are of course very glad of this nomination, and it's of course one of the indication which is we like of course very much. I think the happiness is combination of various things of our society. I think if you look our weather in the winter, for instance, it's hardly very many would say that it's very nice. But even the weather is somehow can cause the happiness. But it's really combination of various factors in our life, and I would say that it is some of the aspects are for instance combined with our history of equality, but equality not only in gender, but of course equality in whole social economic sense as well. Good governance, something quality democracy in our system. Well-being in the sense that we have a very high GDP per capita. We haven't had always that situation. We have always sort of availability of social support at the same time. It's a welfare state with a high social security. We have freedom of making decisions also, and people are really very active on participation on elections, for instance. I think there is also generosity of the society in general, from the birth and actually of mothers already before the birth of the child. There is certain generosity in inbuilt of the society. Absence of corruption is bringing trust to the government also. And then if you think about various sort of rankings like these happiness rankings, but Finland is really indeed ranking very high, not always as number one, but very often top 10 or top 5 or one of the really the best when it comes to the innovations, when it comes to the political rights, safety, being mother in society, etc., etc. So it is a combination of that. And then I think finally, it is still the nature what we have. We have a big country for very few people, and we have always space. And you can always go to the forest, where we can walk, we can track whatever. We can hug the trees, we can swim on our lakes, we can pluck the berries and mushrooms, etc. So that is some sort of combination of all that.
That comes to my next question. During the COVID-19 pandemic, it has been a very difficult phase for the countries around the world. Yet Finland maintained its position as the happiest countries in the world. What is the secret of maintaining this streak?
Indeed, this pandemic is, of course, a global issue, and it has hit all of our societies very hard. Difficult situations globally, and also in Finland. I think here again it's a combination of things. I mentioned also trust in the society. trust in the governance in a society, and sort of trust that when there is a problem, there is also the society or the government who is coming to meet some of the challenges, and we can trust that there is things done. So very early on last year March, our government was taking relatively harsh measures, actually, in a sense that we had emergency law. Under the emergency law, we were able to do some restrictions, and then started to very actively to trace the virus, to use various sort of restrictions measures. There was a time after the first wave where we have released the measures, and now it's kind of the second or third wave where we have some restrictions in some of the areas. But again, we have a situation where we are now really sort of flexible, looking that in the regions where there are still growth of pandemic, we are having restrictions, and on the other hand, we have then released some of the restrictions. But I think here also the sort of quality of our governance and stability, transparency of the government. Government was very active in also informing what is done, what will be done, and sort of creating their also trust in a sense. The citizens themselves were very responsible on their actions. And I think this kind of global situation, or the sort of threat or harsh situation, combined also people were understanding that this is really now serious, and we have to sort of act responsible, and therefore, although there is some sort of impatience definitely to be seen, and there are some difficulties, of course, in the economic field, especially at the moment, still in the sort of travel business, for instance, restaurant, some services also. At the same time, also the government was also announcing last year also a very generous economic package. And together with the European Union also, we are now building our societies in a more green economy also, that we are using this opportunity, using the really harsh pandemic situation to look ahead, in the sense that how we can use this situation, how we have learned a lot about the digital environment, for instance, how we can be after the sort of post-COVID situations, what are the lessons learned. And probably one of the lessons learned is there also that how resilient our systems have been, where do we have to make some improvements, but at the same time, how do we use digital ways and means in organizing in the future better education, health services, etc., etc.
Excellency, you just mentioned that trust was one of the most important factors when it comes to, being on the top of the happiest index. The World Happiness Report pointed to trust as a key factor in the assessment of this year. Could you tell us the role that trust plays in the Finnish society?
It plays. I think it is very historical also, the trust in agrarian societies. I mean, who closed ever the doors outdoors in the countryside, for instance? I mean, we always people were welcome. We trusted our neighbors, etc. So it has somehow remained. And when the combination of then of the political system, of the governance and transparent governments, very sort of political and civil freedoms, etc. I mentioned that Finland is one of the least corrupted countries in the world, but also 85% of Finns strongly agree that they can trust most of their fellow citizens. And this is the highest percentage of the European Union. So we trust actually in principle each other's. I think also this freedom to make decisions in sort of political civil freedom, that we can really trust the system, that system is working, and if it's not working, we will try to make it better. And then there are small things, I think, also in a whole society, and bigger things also where you think about. I mentioned already that that Finland is a good place for getting a child, for instance. We have a very, very good maternity sort of system, healthcare system. We have a maternity package containing clothing and baby care products for every child all the time. This is a very old tradition, but it's a very liked tradition. We have sort of equal start to everybody, all the children in the sense on healthcare, but also for education. So our education is free from the preschool to the university level. We have tuition-free university level education, quality education to everybody. So equality means also access to the education. Equality for us means access to health services and social services. And then Finland is one of the most equal countries when it comes to gender equality. We were the first country in the world to have full political rights for women in 1906. And that is something which we are very proud of. And you see it everywhere, actually, and in our society, and that is highly appreciated. There has been some discussion also in India, showing that Finland has a female prime minister, but this is not the first time. We have had in every important high positions women in our system, and also increasingly CEOs and in the private sector. So it is. I would say that this is a really combination on all of these, and that creates the trust. We have also, I think, functional society in the sense that everything just works in Finland. You can trust. I mean, it's not a problem. It might be some hours or one day a problem when there's a snowstorm, but I mean, there are seldom the airport closed, even the heaviest snowstorm in Finland.
Ambassador, India has a ever-growing population in Finland with a large chunk of the population contributing to the ICT sector. How much do you feel the happiness of the Indian diaspora contributing to the result of this year?
What I have understood when I have participated in some events with Indian diaspora in Finland, that especially the IT specialists who are many and students, they like this Finnish lifestyle where you can combine sort of work and your private life. So it's not 18 hours working days in Finland. We have that flexibility in the sense. Then the other thing is this functional society in a sense that really the education schools are high quality schools for everybody, and there are this healthcare system which is functioning and services for everybody, and also this sort of wealth and well-being in the society, I think, is some aspects. And I think also sort of I have been thinking about this sort of spiritual side also here in India, of thinking about Ayurveda and yoga and meditation. I think the Finnish equality is, I mentioned already, the nature, but the nature is present everywhere all the time. So you really, even if you are living in the Helsinki, our capital area, it's just a half an hour you are in the middle of nature park where you see really animals, flora, fauna, water, forest, etc. And so that is this is something which is for Finns really a very meditative area, being at the lakeside or at the sea, sort of meditating the scenery, having sauna, which is as well sort of kind of for us kind of peaceful way of spending some time alone or with your family, maybe with your friends, or maybe with somebody who you even don't know. But that is something which we value also very, very strongly. So here again, I think that these are combinations. And furthermore, for businesses, if you think Finland is very good place to start businesses. We have it's easy to start businesses, and we have also various sort of supportive systems to start businesses. Also, English is spoken overall, so it is easier also to go to Finland because you don't necessarily need to have any Finnish language knowledge, although it would help you enormously in the longer run. And there are even very good Indian restaurants if you don't like the Finnish food, although I would recommend, of course, very much the Finnish food, which is very down to the earth and very can be very ecological and can be very healthy as well. But
Excellency.
combination, and we are really welcoming warmly more Indian experts, Indian students, Indians, tourists to Finland, and looking forward really when there is again possibility for traveling and for smooth visa processing and smooth resident permit processing, which we are now working very actively on to make everything ready when the day one comes, when we are starting again with full speed.
Excellency, what's your favorite Indian cuisine?
I like very much actually everything what I have been eating here. It varies strongly. I like very much vegetarian food, and therefore the variety and richness of the vegetarian food in whether you are in North India, whether you are in Centre India, whether you are in South India, is really, I have only very good experience. I was just had the chance to visit Tamil Nadu in March, and getting acquainted also with southern Indian food, and absolutely excellent food, which I got again. So I am really good here in India to explore this cuisine, Indian cuisine as well.
Excellency, you gave in-depth and insights into why Finland is the happiest country, and we congratulate the people of Finland and wish many years to be at the top. I think the most important uh, subject which I understood was that trust is very important to do anything. Secondly, you have adopted innovation, and taking decisions is also very important, and there is no corruption, and that contributes to the overall happiness of how the Finnish society is built upon. So thank you very much for joining on this very special program. This is Ameya Sathaye for sarkaritel.com and diplomacyindia.com signing off from New Delhi. Thank you very much. A warm namaste.
Thank you very much. Appreciate highly. Thank you.